Good afternoon. If we could please have everyone turn off your cell phones. I'm going to hit my phone. I better move it. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. We're just going to do some little bit of business here, and then we'll get on with our agenda. Just a reminder, items on the agenda may be taken out of order. The board may combine 2 or more agenda items for consideration. The board may remove an item from the agenda or delay discussion relating to any item at any time. No action may be taken on any matter not listed or posted on the agenda. All planning and zoning matters heard at this meeting are forwarded to the Board County Commissioners Zoning Commission, BCC, or the Clark County Planning Commission, the PC, for final action. Please turn off or mute all cell phones and other electronic devices. Please take all private conversations outside of this room. With a 48-hour advance request, a sign language interpreter or other reasonable efforts to assist and accommodate persons with physical disabilities may be made available by calling 702-455-3530 or TDD at 702-385-7486 or Relay Nevada toll-free at 800-326-6868. Supporting material provided to the board members for this meeting may be requested from Tammy Harris at 702-298-0828. Supporting material is also available at the Clark County Department of Administrative Services. Supporting material is or will be available on the county's website, clarkcountynv.gov/LaughlinTAB. I will go ahead and proceed to take roll call. Pam Walker, Vice President Chair.
Present.
Fred Doughton.
Here.
Kathy Oates.
Present.
Herm Walker, no relation.
Here.
And myself. We do have a quorum. We also have with us our secretary, Tammy Harris, at 702-298-0828, or you can reach her at tammy.harris@clarkcountynv.gov. We also have our liaison, Mark Moskowitz, MOSKOWITZ, at 702-298-0828, or 702-455-6173, or you can also reach him at mark.moskowitz@clarkcountynv.gov. If we could please have everyone please stand for the pledge. Pam?
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to public comment. This is a period devoted to comments by the general public about items on this agenda. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on this agenda item. You will be afforded the opportunity to speak on individual public hearings items at the time they are presented. If you wish to speak to the board about items within this jurisdictions but not appearing on this agenda, you must wait until the comments by the general public. This period listed at the end of this agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium, clearly state your name and address, and please spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of this presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or a board majority vote. We will move to section number 3 for approval of the minutes for the April 11th, 2023.
Madam Chair,
Yes?
I'd like to have added in the report for the April 11th meeting, under item number 8, it was receive a report from Jason Bailey with Big Bend Water District regarding the status of the water system. Some conversation ensued. Chris Mays, I did ask a question at that time of Chris Mays regarding the capacity of our plant, vacant capacity, and what's currently being utilized in Laughlin. Just for the course of condensing in the minutes, we were given the 15,000 MGD for the plant capacity, but he also gave us some other numbers, and I didn't take those down in my notes, so if I could just ask Tammy to add those back into the minutes so that I'd have a record of them.
Okay, thank you. You have those notes, Tammy?
I think if she just referred to the audio, he gave us the numbers, but I just didn't write them down and I don't recall them. Well, I wrote some numbers down, but I don't remember which is which.
Okay, so I would like to have a motion to accept
So
the minutes
moved.
with the changes that were presented today. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Approval of the agenda for May 9th. If I could please have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, informational items. Receiver report and updates from the South County Liaison, Mark Moskowitz.
Perfect, thank you. I'll just go in order on the agenda. So the Laughlin Residential Road Rehab Project, that kicked off on April 17th. And I've heard good reviews so far. Las Vegas Paving is doing a really good job of notifying residents, of making sure that there's people out there, flaggers for traffic control. They haven't really started the paving yet. They're doing more of like marking and all that, but in the next few weeks, we should probably see more paving. So as always, please contact our office if you have any questions, 702-298-0828, or you can always email us as well. We're kind of creating a little email blast list that we can kind of periodically send out updates when the contractor gives them to us, but we're trying to make sure if anyone has a question to please ask us. So we're very excited for that. So the next thing I want to bring up is, and we're going to bring up a presentation, Commissioner Naff sits on the Las Vegas Visitors and Convention Authority Board of Directors, and last month they did a presentation regarding Laughlin, and I'm going to go through that. It's really good, so if we want to go to the next slide, they covered a lot about visiting Laughlin and the way we're trying to attract it to tourists and provide more information. So pretty much between February and the end of this month, they're doing a big campaign to attract visitors. So as you can see, they've got about 9,000 hotel rooms, 8 hotel casinos. You can see the demographic they're trying to reach and kind of the areas that they're doing. So they're doing some spot TV and radio, print, digital, and paid search. So primarily we're reaching out to the Arizona communities, but also locally as well. So if you want to go to the next slide. As you know, we have our visitlaughlin.com. That's the page that takes everyone there. So that has a lot of helpful information of what people can do in Laughlin, where they can stay, stuff like that. So next slide. So this is, we'll play it in a second, but this was one of the several radio campaigns. So if we want to hit the next, it'll play it.
In Laughlin, you can just go with the flow, whatever that means to you. But whether you come to relax, play, or explore, you're greeted by blue skies, warm smiles, and a stunning view of the Colorado River. Plan your getaway at visitlaughlin.com.
So that was a radio campaign that they're still doing right now. You might be hearing it. They're trying to hit about 60 million people with it. So it's getting a lot of attention. They're investing a lot. So, and if we go to the next slide, Time Out, the website ranked Laughlin as the 15th best unexpected U.S. weekend getaway for 2023. So we're getting a lot of traction with that. That's helping people know about, you know, kind of an uncommon area or like a small little secret to come to. So we're very excited to get more publicity with Laughlin that way. if you want to go to the next slide, this is our TV, internet campaign. If you'll hit play on this, you'll be able to see the video as well.
In Laughlin, you can just go with the flow, whatever that means to you. But whether you come to relax, play, or explore, you're greeted by blue skies, warm smiles, and a stunning view of the Colorado River.
Perfect. And then on the next slide, you'll see there's a lot more campaigning. I know we see a lot of these promotional items that they'll put up on billboards or that are going in print. So just a few little things that we're doing to reach more people to come visit Laughlin. I know Commissioner Naft is really wanting to increase tourism and help with the economy and all that. And then the next slide, if you'll go, there's a few more other little just pamphlets or stuff like that. So, and then some very exciting news is this morning, we're gonna actually jump over to Elmo. For this morning, Commissioner Naft, as a board member of the LVCVA, was able to approve $750,000 for 10 Laughlin events. So this is more dedication. The amount of money keeps on going up each year that they're investing. And if Tim, if you want to show the next one, these are the 10 events. So as you can see, we've got some regulars, some new ones. I know we got the air shows on there again. So a lot of good investment that Commissioner Naft and the LVCVA are really pushing to help with the economy down here.
Nice.
So that's all my report on LVCVA. Commissioner Naft wanted me to share that with everyone, that he's very happy that they're continuing to focus on Laughlin. So second thing, on Friday, May 5th, I had the opportunity, and I thank Jackie with the Chamber of Commerce and Bo with the Bullhead City Chamber of Commerce. We'll go back to Elmo. We had a ribbon cutting for the Catherine Landing. It was a beautiful day, great group of people. I was able to say a few words about it, and then the next picture, we had a really great time with a good group of people that came, and we did a wonderful ribbon cutting. So that's a really good thing. Another quick update, I know we've had questions about the Colorado River Heritage Trail. On Thursday last week, we had several agencies come together to meet and talk about it within Clark County. So that was done. It was kind of I wasn't at the meeting because I had another engagement in Las Vegas, but Tammy in our office was there. We had really good dialogue. Since it happened last Thursday, they're still working together, getting reports and stuff. We're working on getting more information and figuring out responsibilities and all that. So that's in the works. It's not forgotten and all that. So we're continuing to work on that. And then my last update is we have the newsletter for May. That's in the back. Please check it out. There's got a lot of good information. It talks about the Laughlin Road project. And if you would like to be on the electronic copy, just let us know. And those are all my reports. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is receive a report from Lieutenant Rogers with Metro.
Out of here.
Who's not here.
He's unable to attend, but we have a report in the back, or if you would like to read it.
We have a report from Metro. Okay, you can get a copy of this report in the back. Calls of service for Laughlin 2023 was 321. In April of 2022 was 390, so we are down 17.69%. For March 2023, they had 309 calls. Traffic citations was 322. They had 4 DUIs and 4 adult batteries, domestic violence. On the adult arrestings, they had 33 bookings, and they had 10 juvenile. 8 of them were residents. Calls for service at the schools. At the Laughlin High School, they had 6 in April, 15 for the year to date, and 1 at the elementary school. And if you'd like to get a copy of this report, again, it's in the back of the room. Okay, receive a report from Clark County Fire Department. I do not see, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
he's here.
Hello, my name is Ken O'Shaughnessy. I'm captain up at 85. Just been down here about a month or so. Said come over here and give a report, so here I am. April responses, total responses were 277 calls. That's a 3.4% increase from last April, which was 268. Year to date, we have 1,044 responses. That's down 3.4% from last year, 1,081 responses. Those are split up between the two stations. Station 76 next door here was 668 year to date, and Station 85 up in town was 376. That's it as far as run numbers go. Other update, we have the 2 jet skis that have been delivered. We've been training on those at Station 85. They should be in service month or so. We have to get 80% of the crews trained on them before we can officially put them in service. And then the boat delivery date has been moved up to July, so that should be here.
Oh, great. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. I'll leave this stack in the back.
Can you repeat your last name again?
O'Shaughnessy,
Roshan.
you want to spell it?
Yes, please.
It's O''SHAUGHNESSY.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, receive a report from Lieutenant Chris Walther of Water Safety. Updates.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Chris Walther, Nevada Department of Wildlife. Thank Mark Moskowitz for inviting me down. Thank the advisory board for having us come in. For those of you who don't know, we're game wardens with the state of Nevada, state police officers. So we cover everything basically that Metro and NHP does, as well as everything on the water and in wildlife. So this time of year, we are starting to get into our boating safety patrols, and we will actively have at least 1 to 2 units on the water in Laughlin every weekend from here on out through Labor Day. I have just recently been in contact with Lieutenant Cody Johnson with Arizona Game and Fish and Corporal Crawford with Bullhead City. We communicate on a daily basis as far as collaborating our schedules, letting know how many units are on the water. Last year was great because we not only had ourselves, Nevada Department of Wildlife, Arizona Game and Fish, but also Mojave County, as well as Bullhead City contingents, which I believe they got a couple new boats. So they've been very strong presence on the water. A couple things we have coming up. We've got a night ops this weekend that we're running out of Catherine's Landing with Arizona Game and Fish. For those of you who don't know, it's basically a night patrol that we do on the water to crack down on OUIs, similar as OUI checkpoint that Metro or NHP would do on the freeways, we do on the water. So that's this coming weekend. We also have a saturation patrol in the wake zone for education coming up on the 20th that we'll be doing with Bullhead and Arizona Game and Fish. Again, educate. What we found is that the majority of the people think you just get a jet ski, you get a boat, and you go out on the water, and that's all you need to know. You put gas in it. Well, we've got a very large contingent of state laws, both in Arizona and Nevada, that need to be enforced, and it's our job to not only enforce them, but also to educate the public on those and keep everybody safe. Memorial Day coming up, we'll have a staff of 6 wardens in Laughlin for the weekend. I'll run 2 out of Catherine's and 4 out of Laughlin on the river for that holiday weekend, as well as we have a fireworks show at the AV. 4th of July, we've got the Laughlin fireworks show and the AV fireworks show, so we're really busy. And then Labor Day, we have the fireworks show. The only other event, as far as I know, that's planned right now is a Catherine's Landing OUI checkpoint during the day. That would be run by Arizona Game and Fish, as it is Arizona's jurisdiction. We assist with them with bringing vessels in and going through the full contingent of safety equipment, and then investigating whether the operator is OUI. Our wardens are continually training. Recently passed a contingent of training with MACTAC in Las Vegas, which is their active shooter program. We're ready to respond as needed and if we're available. Our expected use for this summer is high. Are already seeing use up at Lake Mead, regardless of the water levels in the ramp, high, and I expect no change with Lake Mojave out of Cottonwood and Catherine's, as well as Laughlin. So Mark Moskowitz has my contact information. If any of you have any questions, get a hold of me. Let me know if you have any questions about the water safety. Right now, we're just getting started, so I really have no stats for you. The last 2 years have been odd coming out of COVID, but we'll do what we can. So I appreciate your time. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? All right, thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you to Lieutenant Wilder and NDOW. We've continued to keep a good partnership, being able to work with each other and everything, because they obviously patrol the water, but we're able to help any way possible. So I really appreciate him taking the time to come down here today and to talk to everyone to give updates. So thank you.
Okay, receive a presentation from Clark County Business License regarding rules and regulations.
Good afternoon. My name is Diane Sweeting, Sweeting spelled S-W-E-E-T-I-N-G. I'm one of the licensing agents with Clark County Business License, and I have some of my colleagues with me today to discuss rules and regulations. Today we will briefly discuss and cover the PowerPoint presentation that's on here on the screen. There's also copies in the back if anyone would like to receive a copy as well on their way out or now. So as far as going through the slides, we should be, doing business in Clark County. Clark County provides licensing applications for Glendale, Good Springs, Indian Springs, Jean, Laughlin, Logandale, Mawapa, Overton, Prim, Sandy Valley, and Searchlight. So our office is located at 500 South Grand Central Parkway on the 3rd floor. Our office hours are Monday through Thursday from 7:30 to 4:30. Appointments are required for regulated privilege licenses, but you can also contact us by phone, email for licensing questions. And then we'll go on to the next slide. So if you're doing business in Laughlin, we also provide services, limited services here as well. So if you plan on doing business, you can visit the satellite office to receive general licensing, regulated, and renewal information on the first Wednesday of every month. You could also contact our office as well as contact the liaison, Mark Motzowitz, as well. The next slide, step-by-step to a general license. So in order to receive a general license, you will have to have a location, determine your location, register with the state of Nevada, also the taxation department, which is the same, which is in the same area as the state as well. Register your name, which is the DBA, have a physical location that you have rights to the property, pay the licensing fees, and any regulatory state boards. So that would be, for instance, the cosmetology board, medical board, and so on. At that level, you can go ahead and apply either with our office, or you could also do that online. So the general provisions, chapter 6.04, covers that a license is required. All businesses will need to comply with state licenses, certificates, permits, regulatory agencies. Again, the examples of the state boards like the cosmetology board, medical board, and then of course there will be the public safety approvals as well. So that would include the zoning department for the permissible use, the location, the fire department, the health department, air quality, animal control, and other departments that may not be listed. With the general provisions, there is a lot other provisions in this. I'm just going to cover just a portion of it. But if there's any issues that arise, penalty for the violation can be served. And so these issues may arise from complaints from our community or other agencies. Depending upon the type of incident, a show cause can be enforced as to why the business should not be suspended or revoked. Business license enforcement can issue out notice of violations, notice of civil penalties, and citations for non-compliance issues. So if you do have a licensing complaint, there are several ways that you can do this, but business license does not handle civil matters such as quality of workmanship, pricing of goods, services, monies owed, and hours of operation. However, our office will forward over the complaints to other agencies. Business license receives complaints in various ways from the public, state, or local agencies, and here's a few ways that you can go ahead and submit that complaint to our office. So through Fix-It, Clark County, that's an area that you can go into and make make a complaint. That's available on our website. You can also submit an online form, an email to our enforcement team, or by calling to our office. So with Laughlin highlights, on February 23rd, 2023, a water safety roundtable was held. There was multiple agencies that attended, including Clark County Commissioner Michael Naft, County Liaison Mark Motzowitz, Clark County Manager Kevin Schindler, Boulder City Mayor Steve D'Amico, and Bullhead City Manager Toby Cotter. On April 26th, 2023, Mark Motzowitz, South County Liaison to Commissioner Michael Naft, and Clark County business license representatives from business licensing visited businesses on the water. A flyer was provided in an effort to increase water safety to cover Clark County rules and regulations and ways to report incidents or ask questions. On May 9th, Water Education Safety Summit was held with local business to provide information and resources for upcoming season and also answer any questions. So during that time, there was a couple of business owners who attended, and they had discussed that, there's ways for them to work together in order to report any incidents that on the water of what they see, what their customers are doing. So I think that was a great outcome between those two businesses to kind of discuss that they could work with each other and work with other businesses along the water to just have more water safety. Clark County Business License has an assigned staff to provide licensing information every first Wednesday of every month. Business License has assisted 19 customers with information for a start of a business. And with Clark County Business Licensing, this is just something new that's come recently. We've included a new customer service line. So that number is the 702-455-4340. It was added to provide direct customer service with any business licensing questions or where they can be directed to. And as of right now, Business License has not received any complaints concerning safety issues for watercraft businesses. And thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Yes, please. Just a few issues. I'm a local business owner, so this is right up my alley.
Yes.
But how are we handling in Clark County several particular things that cannibalize the local businesses? So in particular, what has culminated or happened with the Airbnb process as far as it being legal in Clark County and that type of stuff. Also, things like Uber and Uber Eats. How does that play into business license? How is that working? Because I know when I used to have a Pizza Hut street side, we had Domino's from across the river, taking orders, delivering, but they never had they weren't escheating state taxes or sales tax or, reporting the revenue on their side.
Well, with Uber and Lyft drivers, if they are coming over from a different jurisdiction into our jurisdiction, they should have a business license.
Correct.
So that could just be reported. And I'm not, on that,
Because I would think like a local business that is a local restaurant, fast food, I think there's, a couple still in that we have here in the community. If you have the option of doing Uber Eats and they're not licensed in
Right.
Clark County and they're not they're collecting sales tax,
Right.
but they're not escheating it to the state of Nevada, that becomes a problem.
Absolutely.
And it cannibalizes that particular restaurant. And then I think what we're also seeing, which has a profound effect upon Laughlin, is the Airbnb aspects. I'm not sure how many of those we have on the Laughlin side. My resident that lived right next door to me started that. We brought down code enforcement, to put the stop to that. But I do realize that it is having an impact on the casinos from the standpoint also that deprives Clark County and the LVCVA of the room tax, which funds our events. And so I would just like to know what has come from Clark County as far as how they're going to regulate that, how that is coming forward, as well as the Uber Eats and Uber. Those are all things that take from our local businesses.
for the Airbnb short-term rentals, I'm not directly involved with that, but I can circle back to that question
Okay,
and
I thought
contact
that
you.
business license was involved in that, I'm sorry.
Yes, they are involved, but since it's kind of like.
They're
the-
required, I believe, to get a business
Yes,
license for
they're,
it, right?
they're at the preliminary, like, stage right now where, for what I understand is that they've submitted all the addresses, the people that are interested in doing that. And then from there, they're going to then kind of filter them out as far as how far they are, as far as the distance from each other and so forth, because I know that there is restrictions, but there is a team, like a supervisor, team of the licensing, the front that, who processes that, and she would have to have, she would have more information than I do.
I believe
as-
they came and gave a report at one point. I'm just deferring to staff. It gave a report on it. I just didn't know if it had been legalized or had not. I know I had code enforcement down on my next door neighbor.
And yeah, we had Joanna Jacob with Clark County Administrative Services that was going more over the bill and the law and all
Right.
that stuff. I'll work with Diane and we can find out more of the regulatory side of like how, who's been awarded, who's been signed, who's all that stuff, and I can share that information with you.
Yeah, I just
We can
didn't
get
know where that
yeah.
was, but I do know that they have to, part of what was proposed at that time was having a business license. So
Yes.
that's why I asked that of you, but, so you're saying that as far as Uber Eats, all of those should have a business license for Clark County, should be
Yes.
collecting sales tax for Clark, or for the state and
Yes.
sheeting that, which is also for Clark County.
Yes.
That sales tax does not just go to the state, that's who we pay it to. But
Whenever-
it goes to the state and the county.
Correct, yes. Whenever someone crosses into our jurisdiction and they're providing any types of services, they
Correct.
should have a license with us as well.
Yeah, okay.
And I would always say, like, we could still use the Fix-It to report stuff, and also if we, since we are so close in the tri-state area, if there is things from Arizona that are coming over here, let us know. We're more than happy to reach out to Arizona and let them know what's going on and kind of figure out the right regulations,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I solved the problem with bringing in sales tax enforcement, and that was
Perfect.
intense. Yeah, I solved that problem, but
Yeah.
like I said, it would be nice if business license, and if we had an idea of what type of volume that really was. I don't know how you would gain that data, though.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
If we had a way to know what that volume was, you know.
Yeah.
And there's no way for Clark County to necessarily monitor it because nothing's being sheeted, nothing's being reported from revenue.
Right.
It's just a drain. Okay.
Correct. I mean, if there was a report, and then I know that, with Nevada Transportation Authority, they're involved with the Uber Lyft company, so I don't know how that would just kind of intertwingle with Clark County business licensing, but without reporting, I'm not sure how we would really, regulate that if they're just coming over real quick and coming back, but they should definitely have a business license whenever they're doing any services within our jurisdiction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, next we will have a receive a report from Will Smith with Clark County Water Reclamation.
Good afternoon, Will Smith, Clark County Water Reclamation, Smith, S-M-I-T-H. I'd like to give my operations report and status report, and if I may, afterward give a status update on the lift station located at the corner of Bruce Woodbury and Casino Drive. May 9th, 2023, statistics report, April 2023, the Laughlin Water Reclamation Center treated an average of 1.64 million gallons per day, producing clean water returned to the Colorado River. April of 2022, that same time of year, we had an average of 1.65 million gallons a day, a difference of 2023 and 2022. Flow decreased by 10,000 gallons per day from last year at this time. Sewer service complaints, we had none. Odor complaints, we had none. Call before you dig, we have 14 call before you dig tickets located here in Laughlin, received for April 2023. And attached to this report is an influent flow comparison chart for the last year and the past few months. And if I may give an update on the status update of Lift Station 3 at the corner of Bruce Woodbury and Casino Drive. Back on March 25th, we experienced a pipe failure within the lift station, within a vault on the property. All the leakage from the pipe was contained within the vault, so there was no environmental impact nor interruption to service and/or treatment. But it did require a temporary pump around on site so we can get down and repair the pipe. As of earlier today, I've been notified that the pipe has been repaired, the station is back in normal operation, and that the equipment, the bypass equipment and its connections will stay on site until we verify that the pump operation is working adequately, and they will probably start to see it being removed within the next week or two. Any questions?
Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, receive a report from Jason Bailey, Big Bend Water District. Okay,
Hi, Jason Bailey couldn't make it today. He had to call in sick. He's not feeling good, so bear with me. I'm not the trained orator that Jason is. Chris Mays, Big Bend Water District, Operations Superintendent. We are trending down from year over year. Currently, April, we delivered 2023 228 acre feet. Total year diversions is 832 acre feet compared to last year is 910, and the year before that was 921. Total diversions for 2021 was, and that's the entire year, is 30,153, and then 3,146 for the years. So we are trending down, but that could also be, we made some major repairs in the beginning of the year that got some of the water that was not going right to the ground or above the street that we had. So you saw, I believe you saw the big water repair we did on Needles Highway and Bruce Woodbury. That was quite a bit of water that we had to get in there and repair. You also asked for some additional numbers. For the month of April, our daily average flow was 2.76 million gallons per day, and the total for this year in April was 82.83 million gallons. So one's a flow, one's a volume.
I'm sorry, one is?
One's a flow and one's a volume.
Okay, daily average flow, and then the other one is daily average volume?
No, that's a total volume.
Total volume. And again, I know you gave it to us at the last meeting. What was the capacity?
The
Overall
design capacity of the
plant?
treatment plant is what you're referring to. It was designed when it was built was 15 million gallons a day flow.
FT, or 15 MGD? Okay.
MGD, correct.
Okay, thank you.
okay, any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Receive a report from Parks and Recreation. No. Okay, receive a report from Mike Jackson, Executive Director with Southern Nevada Transient.
Hi, Mike Jackson, Executive Director, SNTC. Sorry that we haven't been able to attend our normally quarter reports, but we're back on track. Definitely had some things going on. Let's start with ridership. Ridership is kind of up and down. It really is dependent on what events are going on, how the economy is affecting the hotels. You know, a lot of our riders are in workers that are going from the residential corridor to the casino corridor. February was a pretty good month at 19,000. I really like to see our numbers around 30,000. We're still recovering with our ridership from the COVID era. It's going up, it's slowly going up, but the economy needs to rebound as well. I mean, the casinos need to get more workers. You know, that's difficult to achieve the workforce needed. But once it does come back, it'll move on up. We continue to do what we can as far as outreach and trying to to stimulate the ridership. We're still doing free rides on every holiday. I think that's a good steward to the safety of our community, because holidays does tend to involve alcohol, so if they can take the bus rather than drive, I think it's a great thing. So we'll continue to do that. The paratransit and the Meals on Wheels, we've been doing a lot of outreach and a lot of push on the fixed route. We're gonna start pushing more on the paratransit and the Meals on Wheels, and making sure that the community is well aware of our programs and how it works. So we're starting with some outreach going on there. Our Meals on Wheels, there was, I think I brought it up last meeting, that there was another provider providing mail order food to a lot of the seniors and the homebound seniors, and the food they liked more, and so they can't get both. And right now there's some funding issues with that other service. We were speaking to them today, so we're seeing what we could do to help out and bridge that gap. We most recently applied for our 5311 operational grants. Those are coming up. Those grants are for 2023 to 2024 and 2024 to 2025. We had slight increases on our requests. For Laughlin, the request on that grant for public transportation is $3,466,942. The following year jumps up at about another 300,000. It's really, really difficult in forecasting costs that far out. You never know what the fuel costs are going to be. You don't know what the material costs are going to be. So it's really, really challenging, and we've done a good job. Unfortunately, we have left as much as $400,000 on the tables at the end of the grants. We can't run out of money. So we make sure that we request plenty to continue to provide transportation for the community. We're not looking at really any expansion of service, just fine tuning it and making it better, and then enhancing different items within the transportation. That would be things like internet on the buses, things like that, just making a more comfortable ride. In the future, we are looking at crossing the bridge, if I can get the funding approved for that short little bit to join right to the Bullhead Transit buses for a better transfer point. But I won't put our buses across the bridge with the congestion that it currently has, and I believe that the new bridge will ease that congestion, and we can take a look at that. 5339 grants, those are our capital grants. I still have for Laughlin about $396,000 in this 4-year grant. I have a meeting on Thursday where I'm getting quotes for new buses. These will be the smaller buses, and like I've reported before, we're going to be switching to all low-floor cutaway buses. That will mean that there will be no steps getting into the buses, just the one step to get on the bus, but not the 3 steps to get up the bus. There will not be any more of the wheelchair lift that go way out and seem to be quite scary for the ADAs. These will have ramps that make it nice and easy to get on and off the buses. These buses will be for both paratransit and our express route to Vegas. Community partnership. That's something that we've really been working on and building on, and I believe that we've been quite successful on. We partnered up with the community in assisting with the air show, and I know that there was a report on that last meeting. They asked me to attend a meeting. Next thing I know, that we were in charge of the transportation. They kind of they hooked us in on that one. But it was a great challenge, and I think the coolest thing about that whole event was the partnership and the community working together to make an event like that happen. And we were tasked with the transportation and the parking, and we brought in buses from Kingman, we brought in, Bullhead, and just even, partnering Kingman into our community as well. They never had done anything like that before, and it showed, but we'll teach them. In regards to the transportation and how it went well. Our plan worked, but we definitely see some areas that we can do better, and we're looking forward to next year or the next event, and we will definitely shine with that event. The concerts, we're back in action with assisting at the concerts. Not only are we providing buses to barricade Bruce Woodbury and just help direct the pedestrians into the right area, we're also supplying a bus for Metro for their command post. And, if there's anybody that sees where we could help the community more, ask us. We're always looking at ways to be part of the community and do better. We have a stranded traveler program a lot of people don't know about, to where we help those who get stranded in our community to get back to where they need to be. And it helps a lot. Our 40-foot buses, we just completed another paint job. So you're seeing more and more of the new buses with paint jobs on there. We got a couple more. We're gonna take a break during summer. It's always difficult to do that task during summer. So we're gonna hold off this summer, get some other things done, and then we'll regain. There's 2 more buses that need to be painted, but they have the logos on them. They still look good, and we'll get back after it in the wintertime. All the new 40-footers are doing exceptional. They are really, really doing good. They're very comfortable for the passengers as well as the drivers. They have really nice driver seats in there, and it makes it a lot easier for them when they're in that driver's seat for 8 hours. The 2 that go into full electric in the residential area has been doing really well. I'm not getting the fuel mileage that I expected. I'm looking at doing some program changes. We're getting somewhere around 6 to 7 miles per gallon, which is still very good for a 40-foot bus. But I expected to do a little bit better with the ones that do the part-time electric. And I have some solutions. I just got to get with Allison Transmissions and do some program changes to make it happen. So I'll report back on that when we get some statistics. And like I said, on the Meals on Wheels, that's a program that we have, that it's for Laughlin and Searchlight. It's for seniors that are 60 plus and they're homebound, and if they just contact us, we'll set up an appointment with them and go and evaluate their situation and see if we can get them on the list to get them some food. So if you know anyone, have them call our office and we'll make it happen. The flyer is the last page for more information on that. The other thing I should have probably put in here, we just recently updated our website. Our website was extremely outdated, and we updated it. It's sntc.net. It has a lot of great information on there about our routes. And another reminder, maps. If you go on maps, our bus route is on maps. When you go on a road, you'll see these little buses. It shows that's where our bus shelters are. You click on that bus shelter, it tells you exactly what time of the day that the bus will be there. That's all I got. Anything else? Any questions?
Any questions?
Madam Chair, just a couple of questions. So the first 40-foot that you put in has been on the road, what, a year and a half now?
Yes.
Yeah. How's the maintenance going on that? Has that, because I know you budgetize that. Has
Yes.
it been good or difficult?
Very good.
Okay.
This manufacturer that we were able to go with through the bid process is like the #1 bus manufacturer out there. They really produce a good bus. Their way is to make it right the first time, where the buses that we had before, they kind of had a budget set for warranty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
like most manufacturers.
Right.
yes,
So-
Unfortunately.
And you can really see the difference, you know, and so these buses are very reliable. The ones before, and I was here and I received the first group of new ones. I spent the first 2 years making modifications to those new buses to make them reliable.
Correct.
I was working
I
with
remember that.
Yeah, I was working with the engineers, I was working with the manufacturers, and we made them reliable, but it took me 2 years. And some engineers just don't like to listen, and so it was a struggle.
Not
and I
all
think-
engineers live in the real world, so
Yeah.
that's what I found in building
Oh,
restaurants.
it was amazing when I had the engineers on our bus. It was 125 degrees. They had all their heat probes out and all their equipment, and I took them up to 163. And they said, it don't get no worse than this. You know, so they saw it, but getting them to take my advice and make the changes that I felt was necessary took a while. So, but we did it. But these ones are really, really doing well. The cost per mile is going down because the maintenance is doing well. It's all, you know, we have a very strict preventive maintenance program, and we take care of the buses. That's why we get so many miles out of them. It's not often that you can get 1 million miles out of a bus that's recommended 500,000.
Right.
So,
And then just another thing I was gonna let you know, and I know you guys do a lot of grants and you're pretty much on the ball, but in case there's something, we have a new partnership that was started with USDA, and Elias has been heading that and has put us on a mailer. There's some USDA programs that pertain to veterans and stuff that I forwarded to members of the board, but also for you, there are ones for food distribution of USDA. Additional grants for additional foods and, you know, staffing and getting it out and stuff like that. So there was an email that I sent to Tammy. I forgot to attach it, but I did go back and attach it. Yeah, and is that on the back table for the USDA stuff or just the veterans one? Okay. But there was, in the email itself, maybe I'll forward it to you or ask Tammy to,
Okay.
was several different grants that are pertaining to food pantries and distribution
I'll take a
and
look at that.
staffing and traffic control and different things like that that the USDA
Okay.
had. USDA has to augment the food distribution.
I don't know if you realize it, but I'm also the chairman of the board for the food bank.
Correct.
And I'm.
I do.
And we got some changes going on over there, positive changes. Things are going well. But I do want to start giving quarterly reports for the food bank.
Awesome.
And so with the changes that we're doing over there, I'll be able to start coming to the town board along with the Silver Rider report, but I'll be giving a report on the food bank as well. And this USDA stuff will be very helpful.
It might be new. It's a new network. Mark had a cursory meeting in April, you know, bringing everybody
Yeah.
kind of sort of together. And so we've been getting lots of data and information from USDA that we didn't get before. So this just popped up, I think it was last Thursday.
We
So
have a
these are
grant.
new grants.
We got a grant writer over at the food bank, and she
Right.
is awesome.
But these are new ones that I think come from recent legislation that
Yeah, she
allow
may not
this.
be aware of them, so I need to
Correct.
get that information to her.
And we can work and coordinate with that and get
Okay.
it all together. It's a new program, so we're getting the wheels rolling, and yeah, we're involved in all of our community groups and agencies to really find the need and fix the need, so. yeah.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
We have a
Pam
question.
has a question.
So your shared travel, your stranded traveler program?
Yes.
What is the cost? What is the hours? And what is the phone number?
So the way it works, there'll be somebody, whether they go to Metro or maybe one of the casinos or somebody comes
I get
across.
them at the post.
And so we get the phone call or they come to our front desk, and our office hours is
Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 3:30.
3:30, because it used to be 4:30. We changed it to 3:30. They come to the office, they explain their situation. We do have limited funding. So we really look at the situation, and there's a lot of people that abuse systems. So we have to evaluate and spend the money. When we see a mother with children, priority. We're gonna get them to where they need to go. So they'll contact us. We then send them up to Metro to get clearance. make sure they don't have any warrants or anything like that. Once they get that clearance, then we have to contact somebody at their destination. We need to make sure that there's somebody there, that they're just not going somewhere. We need to make sure they're gonna go somewhere safe. So we have a procedure in place to make sure that it's going the way it should go. And like I said, it's limited funding. Back in the days, we used to get funding through United Way. Now we work with the River Fund on this. And now the River Fund's got a lot of stranded traveler programs going on as well. But it is a very good system. And then there's the simple ones where the people just need to get to Vegas. And so they just, it's kind of like giving a person a free ride on fixed route. You know, if there's somebody needs to get to Vegas, they're down on their luck, they want to get out of town, I'm gonna help them get out of town.
Because occasionally I have veterans that would like to get up to the VA for
We
assistance.
will help them.
Okay, that's what I really need
Yes.
to know.
Rides are more important than fares.
Yes,
So we will get them where they need to go.
okay. Thank you.
Definitely. Yep.
Thank you. Okay, next will be Jackie Wallen with the Laughlin Chamber of Commerce and Laughlin Tourism.
More interesting things. And listening to my partner. Man, you guys do a great job. I'm in love with our transit coalition. They do so many great things.
Best.
For Laughlin Chamber of Commerce, again, my name is Jackie Wallen, W-A-L-L-I-N. New membership rewards. Murphy Broadcasting has offered all of our new members $500 in radio time, free of charge for their new membership. So if you have anybody that's opening a new business, either side of the river, they get $500 in free advertising on the radio. Ribbon cuttings, we just had one at Catherine's Landing. That was so heartwarming. I've been going to Catherine since 1963 when my dad was racing boats here, and the improvements they've made on those docks and in the concession areas is just amazing, and everybody should see it. The Boys and Girls Club of Fort Mojave, they had theirs yesterday for the new fort for Boys and Girls Club, and it has a full football field and beautiful play area and a great building for our students in the southern area of Mojave County to enjoy the outdoors and indoors, especially during the summer when they have a food program. Heritage Park Trails, their ribbon cutting has been slated for May 17th at 9 a.m. It's right inside the Davis Camp entrance to the right where the new parking lot is at the trailhead. Pink Box Donuts is coming. Their ribbon cutting is on July 1st. We just don't know what time it is yet. They have been attending a lot of events around here and getting known, and they do a lot of charity work with, especially for teachers, first responders, and for nonprofit events where the event is small. It can't be like one of our events that has 500 people in it, but they love to go out and do things for the community. They are also the owners of Bagel Mania, but they are not bringing Bagel Mania here yet. Networking and education breakfasts. We have First Citizens Bank of Laughlin. Jennifer Ronan will be speaking this month, at the end of the month, May 30th, 8:30, and she is going to introduce hemp banking, which I think is leading into cannabis banking for distributors. They're starting to release, kind of ease up on those regulations, and she's going to talk about that. In June, we have the Bullhead City Parks and Recreation Superintendent, Dave Heath, and he's going to talk about the improvements to all the beaches and parks on the Arizona side. And then, of course, we'll have Alex from Pink Box Donuts to talk about all of his charity work and their philanthropy and how they're moving across the United States with great things happening from there. If you want to be a speaker at one of our breakfasts, just call Michelle at that phone number. Our biggest event coming up right now is the Chef's Food Fest. It has been dark for 3 years because of the COVID issues. This is our first time back. We had to remember how to do it all over again. We did have to get a vote from the Laughlin Tourism Commission's general managers to make sure that they were prepared to share their culinary staff and whether they had enough staff to do this competition. And because the resort chefs founded it 33 years ago, we had to make sure that they were all prepared and ready to go in the competition. So they all voted yes unanimously, and the event is Flavors of New England this year. If you remember, we have an event theme, and then we have a secret ingredient. This year's Flavors of New England will include maple as the secret ingredient. And there's 5 categories: best food, best dessert, best cocktail, best decorated booth to fit the theme. And then we have a secret judge that judges all of those items, whether it's a dessert, a cocktail, made with the secret ingredient of maple. The last time we did this, which was 4 years ago, we did Flavors of the Islands, and we used the passion fruit. Flavors of the Desert, we used prickly pear. And Flavors of the Deep South, we used sweet potato. So those are the kind of things that we do. There are 550 seats, and they're going so fast. So if anybody wants to go and they want their family and friends to attend, you need to buy a table so that all of you can sit together. This is not like Community Achievement Awards where everybody has an assigned seat. This is open seating unless you buy a whole table and sell your tickets to your friends. So we expect a big turnout, and we also have Nevada Beverage participating again this year to share all of their new flavors of alcohol and beer, especially those that are craft brewed. So you'll be able to taste some of those. Our members at this point are 328. Laughlin is 30% of that number. In the first quarter, we gained 10 new members, and in the second quarter, we are up to 2. New members for Laughlin would be 1, and of course, that's Pink Box Donuts. The volunteers in partnership have been very active. I will tell you that they have pulled their services from IFP, or Laughlin Bullhead International Airport. Most of their service was being used for the green door, the infamous green door where you can walk through but you can't get out. That is a FAA TSA requirement. And because we had a couple slip-ups with some of these people not taking it as serious enough, they have taken it away from volunteers and made it a staff-only position, whether it's TSA or the airport. There aren't enough chartered air flights right now for our volunteers to go out there and just do greeting for 45 minutes. It's a long travel for some of those volunteers, so we're waiting until our next scheduled service come in. And as a member of Mojave County Airport Authority, I'd like to throw in there, while we're talking about it, that we do have a new director, and he starts next Monday, and he comes from Maine. Just so happens it ties right into the Flavors of New England, so maybe he'll feel at home for a little while. But if you get an opportunity, please call me for his email and welcome him here. He has a lot of service, I think 20-something years in the Air Force or Marine Corps, and he's coming here to work with us. He has great history in the airport direction and management, including marketing and concessions. So we're really excited for him to come. The VIPs will be helping. The meeting tonight, by the way, if anybody's interested in attending a volunteer meeting, is tonight at 5 o'clock at the mall. But their next volunteer event is for the Journey concert, Leonard Skinner concert, Chef's Food Fest, of course, Sam Hunt, REO, Speedwagon, and Styx, and the WAN U.S. Open. It's the 41st WAN U.S. Open for the United States competition of largemouth and smallmouth bass. And we have had it now for 2 years. We had to move it from Meade to here because of the low water and trouble with the ramps in Clark County at that lake. So if anybody, we still have 3 concerts we haven't named yet for the volunteers to work, but if you're a volunteer, you can participate and see the concert for free. They do scanning of tickets and ushering to your seats. So it's kind of a fun gig for them. If you're interested, you please call Donna. My projects are still the same for the area-wide things. And then, of course, I want to remind you that notary services are free for members, and we're getting so busy with notary, especially with automobile dealerships and PWC sales, those kind of things that want to buy them across state line. We are endowed resident for fishing, and we also give licenses for small game for those who hunt here. And we also are a host to the visitor center, and we're getting a lot of people coming in this time of year, spring and fall, to visit our area, especially with recreation and resort stay. Do you have any questions for Chamber? I'll move right into Laughlin Tourism Commission.
Thank you.
It's just a brief update on the Laughlin Bullhead Air Show. We saw in excess of 13,000 viewers. Approximately 10,000 were inside the fencing at the airport. That wasn't counting the volunteers, the vendors, the staff, the support staff from the air show consultant that we had. That did not count that. 10,000 was just the people who walked through the door to attend that day, attend the free event. We learned a lot in this event, and we are very happy about what we learned because they're all doable fixes and things that nobody really saw except for us, and we want to make them different. So we were working really hard. It is probably time to announce the fact that we will be having an air show in 2024. Nellis Air Force Base was supposed to take the even years, and we were supposed to take the odd years, but as a favor to Nellis Air Force Base, they're losing some of their staff in April 2024 for a special mission. So they're still going to help us with their air and ground equipment and add on some aircraft that can fly out of Nellis, perform here, and land back in Nellis without us having to make apron space for them, which is kind of exciting because some of those things we couldn't have because we are a smaller airport. We also got contacted by the Super Bowl committee. The Super Bowl committee is looking for more airports within 100 miles of Las Vegas to land private jets. So we have offered our hand out from the Mojave County Airport Authority to land extra private jets here, whether they fly with their vehicle inside their jet or want to get here and then get on a coach and be driven. Hopefully we will gain some room nights from that for people who are going to come before or stay after. And it's great to be a partner for that event, and I hope that we'll be able to help them out a little bit. So that's all my air stuff for now. I was voted back on the board again for another term, so I'll still be able to report on that for you. Rockets Over the River, we're only having one day as opposed to two. We're only going to have it on the 4th of July holiday, which is a Tuesday. The Wand Fishing Tournament US Open is going to be October 16th through the 18th. Remember, those events are only on weekdays, so you will not see a drastic increase in room reservations for the weekend, but we hope that it helps our occupancy during the week. And they come approximately 5 days before the event and stay one day after. The townwide concerts that are currently sponsored by the Laughlin Tourism Commission is the Sam Hunt and REO Sticks. This is in our fiscal year. Remember, the ones that happen before or that happen after June 1st are in the next fiscal year. The ones that just finished, like Brooks and Dunn was one of our sponsored events, that is over and it's in the last fiscal year for LVCVA and LVE, where we get our sponsorship dollars from the bed tax. Our membership has now increased. The Laughlin River Lodge has rejoined the Laughlin Chamber and the Laughlin Tourism Commission, and we look forward to their input and their vote and their voice for what happens down here. We will not be doing a Laughlin Open again, and we will not be doing the Laughlin Marathon again, and we will not be doing Best in the Desert or Snore. And I can give you an easy answer for all of your questions. But unless our LTC events increase occupancy in the hotels, we cannot support them. If we don't increase occupancy, the bed tax dollars don't go up and our budget goes down, because all of our money for these townwide events that are supposed to increase occupancy and build more exposure to our destination, if we don't have the money, we can't support it. So we do have a nice budget going into this year, but all those events that didn't increase occupancy, where they, especially off-road races, where do they stay? In their RVs. Yeah. Our anglers for the Laughlin Open were staying in Airbnbs. So we have to put strict restrictions and eligibility on the people who are coming here for those kinds of events, that they have to prove that they stayed in a resort in order for us to increase or do their sponsorship again. So unfortunately, those ones will not be sponsored by LTC. They have opportunity to still come do their event, but we can't give them any money. So That would be the end of my report for LTC. Do you have any questions?
Questions? Nope, that's it.
I'll just remind everyone that Chef's Food Fest tickets are going really fast. If anybody wants any, you have to jump now, because these, we don't have to really go out and market the sell. They just sell themselves. So if you're interested, please let me know in a text or an email or anything you want, and we'll hold them, and you can pay for them whenever you want.
How much are the tickets this year?
They're $100 a plate or $1,000 a table. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we'll receive a report from Tanya Brown with the Laughlin Library. Not here. And then the Laughlin High School is not here. Okay, announcements of upcoming neighborhood meetings and county or community meetings.
Madam Chair, if I can make an announcement on this. Oh, she's going to do it.
Hi. Oh, Jackie Wellen, I'm representing my board membership for River Fund right now. We just did the Duck Derby, and the Duck Derby raised in excess of $30,000 by adopting ducks out to people and being silly. You would not believe how many children and adults stood on the riverbank and yelled at ducks. It was a crazy event, and we found some more improvements we can make on that, but we are making that an annual event, and people seem to really like it. They dress up like ducks. We had a coloring contest for all the elementary schools and gave all the children gift certificates to fast food and to ice cream, and gave them big stuffed rubber ducks for their participation, and some of them even came out in 3D. They just did some amazing things in their arts programs at the schools. Laughlin Rotary, I know that you guys have all participated. A lot of nonprofits have participated in getting us the money that we needed to sponsor the scoreboard for Laughlin High School, and it's my pride, my biggest, proudest moment after 2 years of raising money, that the scoreboard is going up right now. So our Laughlin High School students will have a scoreboard, and they don't have to hang their head anymore by having people just yell out the scores and not being able to share that. If there's any questions about any of those things, just make sure that you contact me, and I'll give you all the answers that you need. Thank you.
Thank you. You need to go to the microphone.
You want to answer for the air show? Yeah. What's the question? I'll repeat it.
10,000, is that the official number? Sir, step up to the microphone.
He's asking was 10,000 inside the air show gates, and that's the answer, yes. Almost 10,000, like a couple shy of 10,000, came through the gates and were clicked. The rest of them were made up of people that were floating in the water, on their vessels, people that were sitting out on the highways, up in the mountains, and all the staff and volunteers that were on the inside. So 10,000 clicked through the gate, but 13,000 viewers that we can anticipate based on social media and cell phone data. You're welcome.
Okay.
Pamela Walker, Commander of the American Legion, Post 60. I just want everyone to know that they are invited and should participate in the Memorial Day service, which will be held at the Avenue of the Flags at Riverside. Commissioner Naft will be our guest speaker, and I think all of us owe a debt of gratitude to those who gave all. So I encourage you to please attend. If weather is making that out of the question, it will be held at the American Legion, Post 60, located at 1510 Bruce Woodbury. And Jackie, I would ask that you would put a blast out to all the hotels so they can let at least all their veterans and those that are staying there, that they're invited to attend that. Thank you.
Are we able to buy lunch that same day at the Legion?
We provide it free of charge, but if you want to make donations to the post, we will gladly take them.
And what time's the memorial?
11 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other announcements? Okay. We have no planning and zoning, and we have no general business today, so that we will move on to the comments of the general public. This is a period devoted to the comments by the general public about matters relevant to the board. Jurisdictions will be held. No discussion, action, or vote may be taken on this agenda item. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please step up to the speaker's podium, clearly state your name and address, and spell your last name for the record. If any member of the board wishes to extend the length of this presentation, this will be done by the chairperson or a majority vote. Do we have any general comments?
Yes, hello. My name is Maria O'Brien. I'm with Help Us Southern Nevada from the Weatherization Department, and I just wanted to share our program at no cost to clients. We offer weatherization, HVAC repair replacement, weather stripping, solar screens, doors, locks, windows, smoke detectors, and this is an income-based program through Help Us Southern Nevada. We also have Southwest Gas Utility Assistance. I don't know if you guys have Southwest Gas out here. Oh, okay. So we have Southwest Gas Utility Assistance up to $400. This is not income-based, so anybody can apply for this. We also have 8 other programs that Help Us Southern Nevada: Family Housing Services, Workforce Services, Adult Housing Program, Holiday Assistance, Shannon West Homeless Youth Center, Framing Hope Warehouse, Homeless Response Team, and Behavioral Health Services. So that's all I have.
Great.
Could you go into a little detail on some of those services? You said family.
Okay, so
adult.
Family Housing Services, Emergency Resource Service programs include Southwest Gas Assistance, as I was talking about, food vouchers, clothing vouchers, hygiene products, baby and infant needs, referrals to other services, and case management. Adult housing programs, the homeless service program is designed to prevent homeless to those at risk of becoming homeless or assist those who have been homeless over an extensive period of time, including chronic homelessness and those with mental illness and who are disabled. Workforce Services provides pre-employment services, empower participants to enter or re-enter the labor market through workshops, support groups, and networking, one-on-one personal vocational counseling, job seeking and job keeping methods, leadership. They do mock interviews. They also have like a Dress for Success, gift cards to Burlington or Ross for interview attire, along with gas cards. The holiday assistance is the turkey giveaway and the Christmas. The turkeys are 1,000 families and the Christmas is 3,000. Shannon West Homeless Response Team Shannon West Homeless Youth Center. Shannon West is a residential facility for emergency shelter, the only one in Nevada housing the ages of 16 to 24 years old, providing training and skills to further their education, employment, and life skills. And then Framing Hope Warehouse is just basically we take items from Walmart, Amazon, Good 360, and we resell them to other nonprofits.
Okay.
So it could be anything from dog food to air filters, it's just random stuff that we get from trucks that nonprofits can come shop Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And then you resell them to the public or to other nonprofits?
No, other nonprofits. It's not open to the public.
Okay.
And then Homeless Response Team, also known as HEART, serves chronic homeless and homeless individuals and families and living in places not meant for human habitation, such as homeless encampments, storm drains, tunnels, parks, and streets. And then the Behavioral Health and Services, comprehensive behavioral health and service utilizing solution-focused client-centered treatment to ensure success. We offer individual treatment to addictive and mental health disorders in outpatient and residential settings.
Okay, and you're here local or you're?
In Las Vegas.
In Las
Clark,
Vegas?
yeah, Clark County.
Okay, but the agencies here have your contact information and the programs, or is there a flyer that kind of lists this?
I brought flyers with me and cards. Did I meet you last time in Searchlight?
Okay.
So I'm kind of new to all this, to outreach, so, yeah.
Sure, but if we can get some for this office and then disseminate from there. Yeah, and the chamber too, yeah.
Okay, I'll leave the flyers here in
Great,
my
that'd be
card.
helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is no question.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I need to know whether or not you have a senior advocate program. We have some seniors in our community that need some help keeping their finances straight and not being victimized.
Could that be under the mental health, maybe?
Yeah, I would think that would be under the behavior and health services, but we don't have, like, our programs, like the weatherization's geared towards seniors, but not specifically for seniors. I know they have East Valley Senior Services and, oh gosh, I can't think of her name. I'll give you the information that I know they do. They work specifically for seniors.
All right, that's been brought to our attention in the past. So
Okay.
it's something that if that fits into that, it would be a good, a good way to join it
Right.
together.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So you're going to give the information to Tammy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have the
And if you
information.
have
Okay,
flyers, if
thank
you could give some to Jackie and
Okay, I'll put them in the back over here.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Larry Tunforce, Tunforss, a Bullhead City resident, but I walk your trail a lot, and here's a little update for you. I walked it yesterday. No dry brush has been removed. Our temperatures are going up. That is a major fire threat that you have there. There's still homeless people living out there. I followed a guy yesterday who lives way up at the north end of the park, almost to the dam. The water damage and erosion has not been changed. The restrooms are still locked, which I'll never understand that. Now for all of us, for some reason, I guess this was all budgeted, but yesterday they started removing all the decorative blue panels on the pedestrian bridge. They have 4 big pieces of equipment out there. There's about 10 guys working, and they told me that they were fixing them, tightening them, and then putting a center bar because of the wind. And so apparently our wind is more windy today than it was when the bridge was built and there was no center bar installed. But also at the north end of the trail for maybe a couple thousand feet, it looks like a front end loader took a bunch of the decorative rocks and moved them up towards the mountain. For what reason, I have no clue. Didn't do anything else. There was one area along the path where they've recently done some, I guess, they put like a water retention basin in there. So I guess that's designed to help slow the water down. I don't know. A culvert would be probably more appropriate. And again, you still have areas, one area in particular where it's undermined under the path. I really worry someday someone's going to get hurt there. People in scooters and wheelchairs, it's a rocky road out there. And there's areas that the erosion is extremely, extremely bad. They've replaced some areas with concrete, and they need to address it. Someone needs to address it at some point in time.
Thank you. Take notes here.
Good afternoon. Gary Isaac, Peak Development, ISAAC 3687 West Cliff Avenue. I had a meeting last Wednesday, the 3rd of May, with Las Vegas Valley Water District to discuss the future development of our Cottage Court new homes that we build down on Bilbray and Needles Highway. It was explained to me at that time that there will be no more development in Laughlin for the lack of water storage facilities. They, of course, threw you under the bus, saying that the town board did not approve any capital project funds in the water rates that you approved, and without more money, they can't build what's necessary, which, in their explanation, is roughly doubling the storage capacity we presently have. I would like to find out some of the mathematics, which they were not willing to share with me, about what our requirements are and needs. I've reviewed the codes. If they're correct, we have a very, well, let me say, a substantially dangerous situation. And so I just want to make sure the board is aware of this, and we have to do something moving forward. We had a report today from Las Vegas Valley Water District's people about our Big Bend Water District. Nothing was mentioned. As of a year ago, we were told everything was fine and the future development of our property would be correct and going forward. As of now, it's all been torpedoed. There'll be nothing else built in town. Just make sure you're aware of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I could just, I'm just curious, Mr. Isaac, were you given will serve letters on those properties?
No.
Not yet.
The maps that we have already. But we questioned that point last year with the issue that came up with Casino Drive to see if the deficiencies of serviceability would be an effect on us. And we were assured by the district it would not, that we would go ahead and develop our property, and we have the large pipes to supply the water and everything else. The problem is not pumping, it's not water capacity or treatment, it is simply that the storage is insufficient.
Okay, and just for the record, this board has never had anything come before us for approving changes. I've sat, and I believe Herm also has sat on the board for the rate changes, but the water district doesn't report to us as far as any improvements or changes in their facility. We don't approve that. We've sat on boards only, the only thing that we've been invited for has been when they did a rate change a couple of years ago.
Well, they made it very clear that the town board did not approve capital projects within the rates that they recently approved. They blamed it on you guys.
Well, that's nice. I've sat on this board for 22 years, and
Yep.
it has never come before me.
Well, they've been managing
And
the
I don't think,
district.
and everyone here, we've sat on this board now, we're going in our third year.
They've been managing the district for 14 years now and never made any.
Since 2008.
Right.
Correct.
And they've never made an issue about storage capacity. But now it comes right out of clear blue sky, throw on the brakes, capital projects, or nothing's going to happen.
Thank you for letting us aware, making us aware.
Thank you.
Carrie Larson, Peak Development, 3687 Westcliff Avenue. Because the Water District failed to give any acknowledgement to the email that I sent to them after our meeting on Wednesday, I thought that I would just read it to you so that you would have an idea of what we are actually up against. This was to Sri, Christopher, and Edward. They were engineers with the Water District. To review, these are our issues facing Laughlin and development of our 60 acres. 1, while capacity of treatment and pumping are sufficient for our town, storage is 4 to 5 million gallons short of what is needed for the town as a whole, as built to date, pursuant to current NAC 445A. Number 2, changes to NAC 445A since 2007 have affected the storage requirements. Storage amounts were originally acceptable for Big Bend Water District to approve our tentative map of the original Cottage Court Phase 2, which was 46 acres. They now put the 780 pressure zone in a deficit. Number 3, all new residential and commercial development in Laughlin is halted until new storage facilities are constructed. 4, Las Vegas Valley Water District claims there are no funds in the Water District usage rates to cover any capital improvements. Thus, they do not have funds allocated to build the storage facilities. 5, the Citizens Commission did not include funds in the rate increases for additional capital improvements. I sat on that board, and I have no recollection to the best of my ability, of them discussing a storage shortage. 6, at a minimum, a 2 million gallon storage tank needs to be built to supplement just the 780 zone at a public works estimated cost of $3 to $5 per gallon, which is $6 to $10 million for Las Vegas Valley Water District to construct. Additionally, piping and infrastructure will need to be installed for the storage tank. Number 7, the new storage tank will accommodate 300 to 500 acres of development, depending on density. However, private entities that fund or build the storage will not have any water service reserved for their future development. You pay to build it, but we can't guarantee you'll get the water. 8, Las Vegas Valley Water District staff recognizes that a $6 to $10 million storage infrastructure project is not financially feasible for a 60-acre residential development. They self-acknowledged a 200 to 300 acre project will be better financially able to absorb the storage capacity development. Side note, the storage facility necessarily must be planned and at the very least under construction prior to any new development being planned or approved. However, any developer will not invest in planning and engineering costs for a 200 to 300 acre project without Big Bend being able to provide a will serve letter. Why spend the money on the engineering? I requested the following items from them. 1, during the meeting, your team was unable to give specific quantities of the storage shortfall for the pressure zone 780. That is basically Crown Point, most of Cottage Hill, Laughlin Estates, Cottage Court, Laughlin Bay Village, and Bay Shore, and the Laughlin and Morton residences. Please provide an analysis report of existing deficits for the town in total. You might want to take notes on this. And each zone individually. We need an analysis report of each individual zone and the town in total of the storage deficits. If this report has not been completed and the position is being posited from an estimate, please inform. Or if you have yet to put out an RFP to have this condition studied, that would be useful information as well. Number 2 item on that, before and after analysis of changes to NAC 445A that created the storage shortfall. What was the engineering criteria for the modification in storage capacity requirements? Item C, I did C. Report any additional issues that must be addressed to restore development in Area 780 regardless of location in Laughlin Township. For example, as they stated, the entire town infrastructure is now interconnected via pressure relief devices. Are there issues in areas other than 780 that would hinder development in the area besides storage capacity, regardless of whether a new storage tank is installed in that area? And I asked them for a timeline for providing the items A through C. I got nothing back.
Okay.
So that you guys are aware, the NAC differentiates a water system before February 20th, 1997, and after. Anything before 1997 was grandfathered in. Now the water district is saying, well, if you alter that, it is now a new water project. Now this wasn't mentioned before during Cottage Hill, D.R. Horton's Bilbray Estates, the apartments up on Bruce Woodbury, the weed growing facility, none of that was mentioned, but now it has become an issue. So if you collect, pump, treat, store, or distribute water, or make any modification or expansion of that water system, it is now a new water project, okay?
On this information you have, can you
Yes.
forward that to our office?
Yes, I
And forward
absolutely
your
can.
email to it?
Mhm.
So we can go ahead and have that addressed and
Yes.
look into that.
I'm just trying, I want to give you just that couple little bits extra so that you know what questions to ask. It's a storage issue, okay? Some of us, most of Laughlin is exempted because it is grandfathered in. Anything else that happens is now new and must comply to the operating storage. Anything beyond what was in 1997 is supposed to store 700 gallons per residential equivalent. So a house, or they count hotels, for example, by how many faucets or outlets they have. So you have to have 700 gallons per residential
Storage.
equivalent stored. And you also must have an emergency reserve equal to 75% of the amount of operating storage in the system. That is why they are saying we are 4 to 5 million gallons in deficit.
And NAC is defined as Nevada allocation credits?
No,
Or
NAC
what is-
is the Nevada Administrative Code.
The NAC that way, okay.
Yes. So codes are there for safety reasons. We are substantially in deficit as it is, aside from the fact that nothing can be built. I even mentioned, so the person that's closing on a lot in Laughlin Estates soon won't be able to build a house unless they spend $6 to $10 million on a new 2 million gallon storage tank. He said yes. I don't know that that's necessarily true, but that's the level that we are dealing with for, it's not a moratorium.
Thank you. Thank you for the information. Make sure you get that over to Tammy so we can look into that.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Wow. Any other general comments? Any comments from the board? No? Okay, seeing none, our next meeting will be June 13th, 2023. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Adjourn.